this round of golf, and he's a couple under par. It's just how solid he kind of plays golf. Fred, looks like we got Tiger left. This has to go.
And now from 3 feet away, Tiger plays quickly and rolls that into the heart of the cup. A one-putt six for Tiger Woods. He is 3 over par in the round as he heads to our par 3 17th. Remember, this is his outward 9.
You can explain it, Earl, because it's just unexplainable, man. It's not pretty.
In the same stretch, Kevin, where Justin Rose, the leader, is 6 under through that stretch, Tiger is dropping shots on par 5s.
Well, Justin Rose could be in danger if he doesn't find a way to get this ball to stop near the hole. He is on the back slope of this green, just in the rough. It's an elevated green, elevated tee box, and they walk through the valley to get to the putting surface 34 feet away. Jon Rahm hit a good one to 9 feet. But Rose plays first here. This is picking up pace down the slope, tracking on a good line, but it goes by the right side, and the rollout is going to be just inside of 10 feet. So he will have a chance here to save par in the way his putter's been rolling. I would bet on him to do so. But again, he has work left here for par.
Yeah, that has so much pace. The 17th green is so small. It's just tiny, and it is really kind of covered up by trees. It's a great little par 3. I mean, it's just gorgeous that Jack found a way to fit this hole kind of in where he did, because it's a great little hole, and the green is maybe a little bigger than it visually looks, but it just doesn't look like a very big target at all. And for whatever reason, the players really have a hard time hitting it hole high on this hole. It's downhill. It's the kind of the natural looking type of hole that you have. It's really pretty simple, but man, it's not a gimme birdie, and it's only playing, what, today, 154 yards.
And Hideki Matsuyama is coming off a birdie at the par 5 16th. He has 2 birdies, 1 bogey on his outward 9 here, and a chance from 23 feet to reach 2 under par. He is lining this putt to play outside and right to left for Matsuyama, again from 23 feet below the hole. And Hideki, again, runner-up in this event last year to Tiger Woods, strokes this ball, turning towards right to left and approaching the cup, and it will not fall. It goes by the left side. It scared it on the way to the cup, and just a couple of feet above the hole. That should be a par for Hideki.
Yeah, it should be. Not bad, but it's a tough one. Earl, I want you to look at the course info tag and look at the yardage today. We're under 7,000 yards for this golf course. That does not happen on the PGA Tour, but a handful of times at most.
Well, look at 2 columns to the right. The under par right now is 2.5 shots under par, 69.5. So that explains it. A lot of folks are making a lot of birdies both nights, Kevin.
Well, part of it could be the position of the holes here. Jon Rahm has 9 feet, but it's above the hole. And this should be fairly quick. Doesn't have to do much to get this to the cup, but looking for back-to-back birdies and a chance to reach 3 under. Slides his putter behind the ball now, spreads his feet, wearing gray slacks and a white shirt with some blue trim, and just taps the ball, now rolling towards the hole, right to left and down. Jon Rahm, quality birdie at the 17th. That's 2 in a row for Rombo. He's 3 under.
Yeah, it's a good putt. It's a very similar putt that he had on the last hole one. He didn't have to hit very hard. It's a comfortable putt. His stroke is one that kind of works in to out. It doesn't wipe across it, so he really does enjoy hitting putts that are right to left, and just fed that one right in the center.
Well, all these birdies for Justin Rose in this back 9 to take the lead, 6 under through his first 7. He's got work left for a par save now, outside 6 feet, Kevin.
Well, if you may recall, on the 16th hole, Justin Rose and Jon Rahm were on opposite sides of the cup, and Rahm went second and perhaps picked up something from Rose's putt. Well, it's reversal here. Rahm and Rose are on the opposite side of the hole here, but this is for par for Justin Rose and 6 feet from below the hole and near the opposite where Jon Rahm was. And Rose to remain 6 under, again, just outside of 6 feet with the black slacks and the pink shirt with the black cap. Confident stroke up towards the hole, and of course it went in. He's making everything today is Justin Rose. He remains 6 under.
He definitely looks good on the greens. I mean, it's really definitive, too. He kind of gets set up to it, kind of takes a look, and it's just an aggressive stroke, and it's hard to be aggressive and comfortable on greens that are quick, and he looks gorgeous on the greens right now.
Keeps him in front at 6 under par, and that means Scheffler, Wolf, and Tiger Woods about to play into the par 3 in 60 seconds.
Coming off back-to-back birdies at 15 and 16, playing into our par 3 17th hole. He's going to have a look at 3 birdies in a row. The California Turkey, a possibility for Matthew Wolf from 154 yards away. He just stuck it to within about 10 feet or so, looking to get it to 1 under par for the week. Matthew Wolf.
And he's looking to pick up more. So is Xander Schauffele, coming off the runner-up at Shadow Creek, the CJ Cup a week ago. 2 under start, very solid for him to begin this week, Fred.
Now, Xander Schauffele coming off a nice 2-putt birdie, has it to 2 under par on the tee at the 17th, 154 yards. Carry a Barranca, then to the smallest green on the golf course. All looks down with a look of disgust. Nothing wrong with that. 20 feet or so will be an uphill birdie putt upcoming for Xander Schauffele. He's playing the par 3 17th. This is his outward 9. He's 2 under.
Yeah, this green is tiny. It's 23 deep, and I don't think it's more than about 15 or 16 wide. That's at 10 paces into the green. So not a very big target, but it is a small one. With that being said, when the wind's swirling around, I think you have to flight it up in the air to really get the ball to stop to know what's going on, but it's kind of an uncomfortable shot. And now, Tiger needs to turn it around, Freddie, right now.
To get it close, Dennis, I think you got to play this down the right-hand side and turn it over a little bit. Tiger Woods puts that way into the air against this gray sky. Downward descent. He's going to be right next to Xander Schauffele, maybe 20 feet. 3 birdie putts upcoming for Tiger Woods. He's 3 over. Matthew Wolf even par. And Xander Schauffele 2 under. All of them playing the par 3 17th on their outward 9.
That was really well done by the entire group. 5 on is the whole location there, and 7 off that right-hand side, and all those players just past hole high, which is the smart play there at 17.
To the 10th, Bill Rosinski.
A little bit of trouble here at 10 for Lanto Griffin. He has pushed his tee shot to the right and got an oak tree in front of him, so too many limbs. He's going to have to play a low runner trying to get it up on the putting surface, and it's not quite going to make it. Maybe 5 or 6 feet short of the green, so he's going to have to he can putt it from there, but that's a long way to this back right hole location, so he'll be fighting for par here. Right now makes the turn at -5.
Justin Rose off the tee at the par 4 18th with less than driver, and he'll find the center of the fairway. John Rahm played just ahead of him and also found the center of the fairway. So Rahm at 3 under in the fairway, Justin Rose at 6 under in the fairway at the 18th, their 9th hole of the day.
Such an intimidating looking tee ball because you know there's trouble on the right-hand side, but you really can't see it. The fairway kind of sits up above a little bit, and then it goes down, kind of going through a little low spot to get up to the fairway, and then it chases level and a little down towards the green. So just an awkward tee ball because you're really not sure where the trouble is in relation to what you see visually right in front of you.
And back to the former voice of the Atlanta Falcons and Carolina Panthers in the NFL, Bill Rosinski.
Well, Lanto Griffin's taken a couple of clubs in and out of the bag here, trying to figure out what to do with his 3rd shot here at the par 4 10th, short of the green in 2. 92 feet to a back right hole location, playing a little bump and run, gets it on that top surface. Now stay up, there's a little ridge there. You don't want to go down the ridge. And that ball's going to settle below the hole, but that's outside 10 feet. So he's going to have an uphill par putt trying to stay 5 under.
Little work left, but it's uphill, and it's only 5 feet, so not a bad spot. You get out of position, it's one thing. But, you got to take advantage of these par 5s. I think if you're going to shoot a low score, you're going to see the players that do go low today, that they probably beat up the par 5s and they played the par 3s pretty solidly.
And the opposite is true if you're not off to a good start, and that's the case of Tiger Woods, the defending champ on the back nine. He's played 3 par 5s with 2 bogeys and a double, so if he's going to turn things around, Dennis, he's had trouble at the easy holes. He's going to have to start making birdies at the tough holes now.
Yeah, he really is, and it's starting with a tee ball, and there's not a violent move on the downswing where the club's getting stuck behind him. He looks in tempo. It looks pretty good. I'm not visually seeing something in his golf swing that I've seen in prior time with Tiger Woods and what causes that ball to be hung out to the right, because most of his misses have been out to the right side. In fact, I can't think of one that's really been to the left.
Well, he's got work to do, and this 17th, a couple of holes to finish up on the back nine. Not a difficult hole. There's only been one bogey, but just 4 birdies there, and 18 is playing awfully difficult. It's tied for the second toughest hole of the day, so not a lot of birdie opportunities these next 2, Fred.
Well, Tiger Woods, according to my count, has hit 1 fairway and 4 greens now, and that includes the par 3 17th. He'll have an 18-footer for birdie upcoming. But first, Xander Schauffele will play. Xander Schauffele, a proud Aztec, as is Dennis Paulson, played collegiate golf for San Diego State, where the head coach was a family friend. Xander has looked at this putt at our par 3 17th from both sides. It is uphill. He'll be able to be aggressive with this. Starts it out, aiming on the right-hand side, and pulls the trigger. Ball rolling. Here's the turn to left. To the hole, turn too much and hit it too hard. My goodness, that's 4 feet above the cup. That'll turn into a tough 2-putt par for Xander Schauffele. While Tiger Woods lines it up, we go to Bill Rosinski.
Yeah, and Fred, we've got Lonto Griffin trying to line up a par putt here. This is a 12-footer. This is uphill. Should turn a little bit to his right. And this would be a good save. Flat stick's been good. Putt's on the way. Nice pace. Right in the heart again. Are you kidding me? Wow. Flat stick is on fire. That's a good par for him to start after missing the fairway. He's still minus 5.
I think if the greens are really the key this week. If you're comfortable on the speed of the greens and you can read them, you're going to fill it up. Their balls are not wiggling. They're not bouncing. They are perfect. And if you can figure out your speed and you understand the property, you can fill it up on this property. And Freddie, Tiger got a good look there from Xander. He knows what this putt does.
The uphill moves right to left from 18 feet away. Tiger Woods for his second birdie of this opening round. Rolls it up. Now approaching the hole. He's going to miss that on the left as well. And that also rolls out a solid 4 feet. Dennis, Tiger Woods is approaching 100 feet in hold putts in his first 8 holes, and yet he stands at 3 over.
80-some feet of it was on one putt, but you're right. I mean, to make 100 feet on one side and to be over par, that's not very good.
The approach shot from the center of the fairway, 183 yards for Justin Rose to the 18th. Downhill shot. He's pushed this to the right. There is a bunker over on the right side to clear the water hazard, and he does not like that shot, and I believe it is in the bunker, but has not found the surface at 18.
Well, we're approaching Halloween weekend next week coming up, so I guess if you're the Wolf, this is a good time of year for you. Matthew Wolf, he's got a little birdie run going, looking for 3 in a row now, Fred.
What about that, Earl? I got the Wolf and the Tiger in the same grouping. And a wonderful tee ball for Matthew Wolf, looking for 3 birdies in a row. Birdied 15, birdied 16, now 15 feet for birdie at 17. Up the slope, needs to turn to left, trying to hold its line, skated on by on the high side, and he may have 5 feet remaining. Oh, I thought sure we'd see a birdie out here. As it is, I think we're going to see 1 bogey maybe.
Wow, he really hammered it. You got the X-Man in that group, too, so you got all kinds of characters.
You do. It also means it's a time of year that I live basically off of small snack-sized candy bars, Kevin.
Well, John Rahm got tricked on the second shot from 173. I'm not going to say the word. You don't want to say it in the golf course, but it went immediately right and into trouble for John Rahm at 18.
We've come up with a word for that. It's blueberry pancakes is what we call it when you hit that shot. And you know what we're talking about. It was a hosel rocket. That ball is well right, and I'm not sure if that's going to be playable. So a really bad situation for John Rahm there at 18.
Back to Fred Albers again.
Earl, 6 feet for the par for Matthew Wolf. After missing a 15-foot birdie, he rolls that over the front lip and down. Turned into a nice 2-putt par for Matthew Wolf. He is through 8 at even par. Earl, I love those bite-sized Butterfingers. It is just amazing how many of those you can scarf down.
That was to you, Earl.
I agree with Fred. For once, but there's so many more. I mean, don't ask me for a list. It would start with peanut butter cups, and nothing else can match that. But I'm one that's not too discerning about which little wrapper I take off. I'm happy with any of them, Fred.
Now, Xander Schauffele to clean up his par. This is inside of 5 feet. And he rolls that into the cup as well. What about Twix? That's the candy bar with the cookie crunch.
That's good.
That would be
For
right there,
me,
number 2, maybe.
Reese's out of the freezer might be the greatest dessert snack on the planet. And take the little ones and just take one and just let it go. Let it go, because it's unbelievable. A frozen Reese's peanut butter cup is pretty impressive. Freddie?
Now, is it wrong morally, legally, to steal candy from the kids? You know, it comes in, that bag of candy just sitting there, goes to sleep, daddy goes over and takes a few. It can't be wrong. Everyone has to share. I'm teaching him a lesson. That's why I'm teaching him a lesson on sharing. 4.5 feet for Tiger Woods to clean up his par. Back through, that's into the cup. No one made birdie, no one made bogey.
Oh, that's a great line. And you're just borrowing it. You're borrowing it. You're going to replace it with candy next year is what you're going to do.
Well, the play there is actually, I'm not so sure that you should be having that. That doesn't look safe. I'll take care of that myself. That's how you get it done on Halloween. PGA Tour radio coverage of the season-long points race for the FedEx Cup. It's Justin Rose, former FedEx Cup champ, in front, 6 under par at Sherwood. We continue round 1 of the Zozo Championship. Thousand Oaks, California this week, a 1-year move from Japan due to the coronavirus pandemic, playing Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks for the Zozo Championship. I'm Earl Forsey with our PGA radio team, which includes longtime PGA Tour pro, part of the coverage of the U.S. Open and Open Championship on ESPN Radio for many years. Dennis Paulson, our analyst, one of those California guys covering golf in California in this section of the PGA Tour season, this fall section of the schedule. 7 events into it, and because the last 2 events, last week the CJ Cup, normally held in South Korea, and this week with the Zozo Championship unable to be played in Japan, we get a unique little 3-week West Coast swing, Dennis, back-to-back weeks in Vegas and now out to California near L.A.
And we've been privileged with incredible fields, and the fields have been so strong. It was shocking to see the list of the players in the last 2 weeks that needed a sponsor's exemption to play in these events, to give you an idea of the depth of the field. And the players are supporting them. I mean, it's a long ways to go overseas to play. A lot of players went over there to do it, but they're really supporting the PGA Tour and these events that are being played here on the West Coast in Las Vegas and now just north of L.A. and the Thousand Oaks area.
Yeah, and Zozo, this tournament normally based in Japan, so still like last week with a lot of Korean pros teeing it up at Shadow Creek. Many Japanese players, in fact, 8 Japanese golfers in the field this week, led by, of course, Hideki Matsuyama, who's got 5 wins and finished 3 behind Tiger when he won a year ago. They're in the field getting an opportunity to play near L.A., Bill.
Well, Lonzo Griffin, back on 10, pushed his tee shot to the right, was able to make an up and down for par. Here at 11, the par 5, he's lost his tee shot to the right, and it's rolled down.
Off to the towards start in the back 9. They're both 6 under, Kevin.
Justin Rose didn't make the bunker. It came up just short and rolled back into the hazard, so he is playing his 4th shot from the drop circle in the fairway and pitches this up towards the hole location. Not going to make it all the way up the slope, and now rolling back, and Justin Rose will have some significant work for bogey. John Rahm also putting for bogey at the 18th after having to pitch out sideways from the native area.
Well, he pitched it out sideways because he pitched it in sideways. A little hosel rocket into the native area, and dust is not completely settled yet for those 2 players. So big mistakes on their final hole on the back 9, which is actually their front 9 as they're about to make the turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the toughest holes today and just getting tougher there. Just 1 birdie, and now Justin Rose is going to make a huge mistake, and that's going to cost him a share of that lead, Kevin.
Justin Rose at the 18th trying to save bogey. It's a 29-footer. Up the slope, turning right to left, and that's going to stay outside right for Justin Rose. So finding the hazard has proved costly for Justin Rose. It'll be tap-in double bogey. He'll drop 2 shots at 18. He moves to 4 under par.
Earl, I mentioned it a lot. You know, he's been playing some very good golf and then some bad, and he's had good rounds and bad rounds. But the thing that's been going on is that this kind of thing happens. The double, that or he'll go on a 3 or 4 hole stretch where he'll play it in 2 or 3 over par. It's really very uncharacteristic for Justin Rose to be playing the golf he's playing right now.
John Rahm, 5 feet for bogey. He drove his second shot, went way right into the native area, pitched it out sideways to the fairway, then onto the surface with his fourth, and now 5 feet for Rahm, rolling up towards the hole and made it from 5 feet. So drops one shot. John Rahm here at 18. He makes the turn at 2 under.
My goodness, just a kind of a mess, making the 18th hole look a little more difficult than it is. Maybe just playing a little bit more back into the breeze, and it's such an uncomfortable tee ball. You really have to play this hole enough to know where you want to try to drive it here at the 18th.
Hideki Matsuyama hit a brilliant second shot into 18 inside of 5 feet, just hole high left, and really just taps us in from 3.5 feet. So Hideki Matsuyama with a nice birdie at 18, and he makes the turn at 2 under par.
Second hardest hole on the golf course right now, playing just 3 over par. A lot of that came from that group right there, but still, it's been a struggle.
Well, and I think one thing we're getting a look at on day one of this tournament for the move to Sherwood, Dennis, while we have seen birdie runs and good scoring, both nines, when you make a mistake today, we've had a couple of, quite a few double bogeys. We had a triple earlier from Jason Kokrak, so when it's trouble, it's big trouble, Fred.
Xander Schauffele has driven it beautifully today, Earl. Just pumped a 3-wood into the middle of the fairway, 188 into a right-hand hole location. That comes in on the left-hand side, spins it to a halt, maybe in that 15-foot range for birdie for Xander Schauffele. He's bogey-free. He's 2 under par. Tiger Woods hit his second fairway. He's up next.
Bookie in fairways, 10 and 18. Everything in the middle been a little suspect, but maybe he can kind of get it going. He likes to work the ball left to right. Freddie, the ball's below his feet, and the whole location's over there on the right. This could be a good one.
Big cutter from 187, moving that ball much more than I thought he would. Comes in on that left-hand side, doesn't spin to a halt. That's just fine, maybe 20, 25 feet from above the hole. That putt will have a lot of movement downhill from left to right. Upcoming for Tiger Woods, he's playing his 9th hole of this opening round, the par 4 18th. He stands at 3 over.
If you would just see a single swing from Tiger Woods and you guess where he was to par through 8 holes, I don't think anybody would say over par. It looks good. I mean, he looks in sync, he looks calm, he looks comfortable, and he looks in rhythm, and the scoring is just not showing it right now.
Well, guess who else is in trouble? Lefty on the course. He's underway in the front 9. Phil has just made a double, a 6 and a par 4. He's also got a bogey in the first par 5. So Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods, both 3 over par early in the day when the lead's -6. Sebastian Munoz in front on day 1 in California. PGA Tour radio coverage from Sherwood Country Club in the Zozo Championship.
Par 4 18th, a 30-foot downhill slider from left to right for Tiger Woods, looking for just his second birdie of this opening round. Comes in on that left-hand side, now fading to the right-hand side, didn't get that to the hole. And Tiger Woods will have a short par putt to turn at 3 over.
Yeah, it should be too much work for Tiger from there, but his swing looks better than the score for sure.
At the first hole, Justin Rose coming off that double bogey, 126 yards, and sends this above the flag. Good shot there. That's going to use a little slope and come down and be hole high left inside of 15 feet for Justin Rose. Looking for the bounce back at the first.
Way back to 18 again, and Fred.
Well, Earl, Matthew Wolff hit the fairway, but he was on the right-hand side of the fairway. Had to work the ball around a group of live oaks and put it in greenside bunker. Not a good lie. And blasted out to 27 feet. Matthew Wolff, who had a disastrous double bogey at the 14th, fought back with birdies at 15 and 16, but needs this to go to remain even par. Plays out high on the left-hand side. Now peels down to the right and past the hole. And Matthew Wolff will go to the first tee with a bogey on the card and 1 over for the day.
Not the cleanest 9s for Matthew Wolff, who's played this golf course numerous times, just kind of growing up in the area. where he lives, just 7 miles from the property, and he played a lot of golf and practice out at Westlake Village, which isn't far from this property at all. So he's had an opportunity to play this quite often, and just not really the way he wanted to get started, that's for sure. Maybe a little bit of a carryover. When he played so well in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, you thought, wow, this could be a really nice run for him. Another week in Las Vegas, and then he's basically coming home to play a home game. And it was a little bit of a struggle last week, and it's continuing today. But Xander's played very solid, Freddie.
Really solid. The worst he could be is 2 under, and that's what his total is. Hasn't made putts of any length. But here's an opportunity. This is a 14-footer to send him to his inward 9 at 3 under. Playing the par 4 18. This a bender from left to right. And Xander with a smooth stroke. Ball cruising in toward the cup, and now in the middle of the hole. Xander Schauffele with birdies at 11, 16, and 18 makes the turn in 3 under.
Pretty simple. Xander's making it very simple. He's not doing anything special. You know, he's kind of giving away maybe a shot or two on the par 5s, but put the ball in the fairway, put the ball on the green, and do what you do best. And, you know, he adds up birdies kind of slowly, Earl. It's funny how his scorecard adds up all the time. There's not a lot of mistakes, and it's really kind of easy.
Too many mistakes, not easy for Tiger Woods this opening 9. He will knock in the short one 3 feet for a par at the 9th. So forget about this one. 3 over for Tiger. See if he can make amends for it and get on a birdie run to straighten things out on the front 9.
Yeah, no, it's been the driver. I mean, you know, he parred 10 and he parred 18 with hitting balls in the fairway. And when he's missed the fairway, he's really struggled. His only birdie came from a missed fairway, but he had to make a putt outside 80 feet to do it, so he needs to kind of clean it up.
Let's go to Bill Rosinski.
4th shot coming up for Lanto Griffin here at the par 5 11th. It took him 2 to get out of the trees where his tee shot put him, and now to a far right hole location. Plays this just hole high left. That's going to be an uphill putt. If he can make that, that'd be a heck of a par after taking 2 to get out of the trees here, and that's outside 10 feet uphill. We'll see if he can make that to stay -5.
Yeah, a little bit of a struggle for Lanto there, the par 5. But, you know, this golf course, as I mentioned, the par 5s, Jack Nicklaus is a brilliant designer of par 3s and par 5s. He does such good work with risk-reward, forces players to hit it into areas, and always makes that second shot, if you're going to be able to reach that green in 2, an uncomfortable look. It really is never very inviting. It's always intimidating. And a lot of players are struggling on the par 5s today.
Well, and the defending champ is one, Tiger. We mentioned he rallied last year after struggling early to shoot 64 and then went on to the win. He shared the first round lead a year ago in Japan with Gary Woodland, who is off to a really good start today. 3 under in the front 9 through 7, and Woodland now is a WD due to a back issue. So we hope that's nothing serious for him, Kevin.
Justin Rose looking for a bounce back here at the first. 12 feet from above the hole. Strokes the ball confidently.
On the par 5s, the 5 par 5s out here. And this is a world-class field that we have in this event. Some of the top players on the planet are playing this week. Only 78 players, but still, now 77 with the WD from Gary Woodland. Let's hope that back isn't going to be anything serious.
John Rahm, his putt actually is an inch further away than where Justin Rose putted from, but Rahm would have had to stand in Rose's line. I know you can repair the spike marks, but they elected to have Rose putt first from that position above the hole. Rahm coming off of bogey at 18. He is 2 under par, looking to get that shot back right here, and he just went to school on Rose's putt and saw that it quickly loses speed and dies to the right. So we'll see if he gives us some more on the back part of the green. Confident stroke there up the slope. No, he didn't hit enough either and lost it to the right, and he can't believe he didn't give it enough on that putt. Tap in par for John Rahm to remain 2 under.
Yeah, I think he's more disappointed in the fact that he got the idea that it was slow and saw it and didn't get it there. It's one thing when you don't do it on your own, but you just witnessed the pace of that putt, and then you don't change. You know, it's like, figure it out is what my old golf coach or baseball coach used to say. Figure it out. When you keep popping it up, figure it out, man.
That's like your golf partner when you're in a match and you've already tapped in for your par and he boldly leaves it 2 feet short. maybe that's a personal thing for me. Anyways, Hideki Matsuyama putting last year at the first, and he had another good shot in 6.5 feet away for back-to-back birdies, a chance for Matsuyama to reach 3 under. He is putting from below the hole, the opposite side from where Rahm and Rose just putted from. And so we saw the break on this. This should be a little quicker as their putts slow down. This should speed up slightly down the slope, and he just gives that a little tap on the way to the hole. Missed it on the right, and that rolls about 2.5, 3 feet past the hole for Matsuyama. He can't believe he missed that on the right side as he cleans up for his par to remain 2 under.
3 par 5s on the back 9 at Sherwood Country Club. The first is at 11, Bill.
Well, for the second hole in a row, Lanto Griffin has to make a lengthy par putt. This at the par 5 11th, uphill 16-footer to stay 5 under. The putter's been red hot. Starts this out to the right, moving to the cup. Oh, and it just missed on the right side. That had a good look at it. Stretched out to about 3 feet. Going to put a mark on this, but he's going to lose a shot here for sure. Dropped to 4 under.
And making the turn to the front 9, one of our feature groups, and Matthew Wolff waited for the green to clear. 340 at the par 4 first, Fred.
And stands on the tee. The green is clear. And we have contact, trying to get this ball to turn over. Ball has some distance to it. Oh, misses the green wide to the right, but ricochets off a tree and now works up toward the cup. Oh, what a break that is. That's going to be an eagle putt of 10 feet or so upcoming for Matthew Wolff. He stands at 1 over par, coming off bogey at the 18th, but a great break and a great look upcoming for Matthew Wolff.
Wow, what a great break to get it on the green. And Xander and Tiger both found the fairway laying up off the tee. So Tiger Woods, 2 fairways in a row, and Xander doing what he's basically been doing all day long.
Entertaining tee shot. Got there not the way he expected, but Matthew Wolff's going to have an eagle try for it. And the early leader by 1 as we continue coverage of the Zozo Championship, Thousand Oaks, California on PGA Tour Radio.
Coverage begins next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and you can always listen free on a computer or mobile device at pgatour.com/live audio or via the tour's official apps.
You better believe something strange is going on tonight.
Hey everybody, it's John Swansek, host of the Talk of the Tour podcast. Stay caught up on the conversation with writers, broadcasters, tour players, and newsmakers every week on Talk of the Tour. You can listen and download the pod by going to pgatour.com/podcasts and also access it via iTunes, TuneIn, and Stitcher. That's Talk of the Tour, pgatour.com/podcasts. Subscribe today.
The defining moment happened on March 24th at the Players' Championship.
Johnny, that's better than most. How about him? That is better than most. Better than most.
Don't miss the defining moment in 2021 as the Players' Championship returns to TPC Sawgrass March 10th through 14th. To learn more, visit theplayers.com. This fall, never miss a second with PGA Tour Live.
How about it?
Non-stop action of the world's best.
Shut it today.
Holy
Shut it today.
All season long.
No way!
Early round coverage that can't be seen anywhere else.
Are you kidding me?
Wow! Don't miss a moment.
That's making it happen.
A new fall season is here. Subscribe at PGATourLive.com today.
Boy, what a tee ball out of Matthew Wolff. Ricocheted off the tee. I mean, it was working right down toward the cup. I thought that I was going to have Andrew McGee on speed dial there for a second. The last man to make a hole-in-one on a par 4. Xander Schauffele and Tiger Woods with the more conventional approach. 3 woods off the tee and nice angles in from right at 100 yards for each of them. Xander Schauffele has been by far the most consistent. I haven't seen him hit a poor shot yet. I know he backed off of a putt and didn't like the way it rolled, but I don't qualify that as a bad shot. He has been in position to make birdie seemingly on every hole and is so at the first to begin his Inward 9. No, Xander jumps out of that wedge. Something wasn't right. Maybe just a little puff of a wind. We've had a few gusts out here. Right now it's dead still, but every once in a while you get a little breeze. It would be hard enough to affect the golf ball. Now, Xander readdresses the ball. Always takes that little mini swing that's become so popular on the tour. Sets up so square to that ball. And with beautiful tempo, launches that toward the flagstick, comes in on the right-hand side. There's a hill there, needs to spin it, and he does. That's going to come down, working its way toward the hole. 15 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet. A beautiful play out of Xander Schauffele right on the edge of the cup. That'll be back-to-back birdies for the X-Man to go to 4 under.
Such a great shot, using the slope. A lot of the slopes out here work against you, but that one right there for Xander, man, that was tracking to go in the hole. That's going to be a kick-in birdie. And he's hit every fairway, he's hit every green. It's looked very simple for Xander, and as you mentioned, he really hasn't done much except for the putt that he made at 18.
As solid as it's been for Schauffele, kind of the opposite so far for defending champ Tiger, Fred.
Now, if this was Phil Mickelson, he'd ask for that ball to be marked, because I think Tiger's going to do the same thing. Plain and long, here it comes, now spin back into the fringe, now backs it up, tracking toward the hole that's going to miss on the low side, continue running on out to within about 10 feet, an uphill birdie putt upcoming for Tiger Woods, who stands at 3 over par. He's just making the turn at the par 4 first.
Yeah, the whole location in the back left, the hole kind of plays around this corner, and there's a huge hillside to the left of the green, so you think that it's going to be downhill, but there's a little low area there and a collection area, and it's a putt that's very tough for the players to hit hard enough where Tiger is, because he's got a big slope behind him. You think that would push, but it really doesn't. There's enough push back up the hill that it's a tough putt to get to the hole for Tiger.
Well, this front 9 is where Sebastian Munoz caught fire quickly, and it was after a bogey at the first hole. He made 3 birdies in a row, added another at 6, holed out at 7 for an eagle. So this is a stretch we've had runs, and it's what Tiger needs right now. He pulled that one back, and he's going to have a really good look at birdie. He's going to need a little run here in the front 9, Dennis, if he can just kind of somehow fight his way maybe to something a couple under par today. It's going to mitigate what has been a really rough start for him, but certainly capable, the defending champ, of doing it on this front 9.
Yeah, I'd like to, as a number, you're probably going to be in about the middle of the field, I think, if you get it to couple under par, and that's still doable. I mean, it doesn't matter how low one person's going to go, because back-to-back, I don't really think this golf course should be that hard to shoot 7 or 8 under par. It happens a lot, but if you put the ball in the fairway, you should give yourself that many opportunities.
Well, a ricochet onto the green at inside 20 feet for eagle. That's how you draw it up, Fred.
18-footer. No need to apologize out here. You catch enough bad breaks in this game where you just shake your head, say thank you to the golf gods, and go about your business and see if you can convert. It's one thing to have good fortune come your way, but you got to take advantage of that good fortune. And as they say, fortune favors the bold. Matthew Wolff tried to drive this green at the 340-yard par 4 opening hole. Got it a little right, ricocheted it off the tree to within 18 feet of the cup. Now, as I said, to take advantage of the good break. Slightly downhill, the putt will move from right to left. And this for eagle for Matthew Wolff to go to 1 under. Wolff sends that ball out on the right-hand side, curving into the left-hand side, curving into the cup. What a deuce that is to begin the inward 9 for Matthew Wolff. He's 1 under.
Well, that's one way to turn around from 1 over to 1 under, and by my calculations now, that means he's got 6 opportunities on this property to have eagle putts. That says something about this golf course. If you can do that and you're having a special day, it doesn't take too many more good swings if you hit good T-balls and give yourself those opportunities. That I'm not saying you're gifted eagle, but you're gifted birdies with some good shots on this golf course if you can put the ball in the fairway off the tee.
Well, and there are a lot of birdies on that front down, I can tell you. I mentioned Munoz starting there. Now Matthew Fitzpatrick, 10-footer at the 8th. He's gone back-to-back at 7 and 8 after an early run of 4 in a row. So Matthew Fitzpatrick, 6 under through 8, is now a co-leader, Fred.
Tiger Woods has not had many looks at birdies. The one birdie he made was an 87-footer, and that was back at the 14th. This by far his best look. 9 feet straight up the hill for birdie at the first. Takes the putter back. The ball climbs that hill, climbs toward the cup, spits it out, and rolls right back into his face. Well, that's a little bit rude right there. Just could not quite marry The line and the speed, a little too much pace to the hole, and a disappointing par for Tiger Woods. He'll go to the par 5 second hole at 3 over on the day.
That came, and Freddie called it perfectly. It came right back to him. That was a full 180 degrees coming back the other direction. So Tiger hit a good putt there, and it got inside the hole, and it took a big peek, and that spun back around and came almost a full foot back towards him. So disappointing par for Tiger Woods there. And you mentioned the fact that there's a lot of birdies on this side. There's already been 92. It's playing 53 under par this front 9. So there's the opportunities are there for the players on the front.
Just got to make them. And that hole rejected Tiger Woods' opportunity, and he's frustrated walking off, Bill.
Well, Sebastian Munoz playing the par 5 13th had 284 to get to the green in 2. He knocked it to 21 feet. And now he and his playing partners have made it up to this green, and he is stalking this putt, putting a coin on it right now. He is 6 under par. And if you can roll this in, he would get to -8, but certainly in a position to 2-putt for birdie, which would put him at the top of the leaderboard right now. Matthew Fitzpatrick also -6. All right, 1 eagle so far today, and that was the hole out at 7. All right, putter blade behind the ball. This is an uphiller from 21 feet for eagle. That ball is moving. He stood up as soon as he hit it, and he didn't hit it hard enough. That ball just kind of climbed and stopped as it turned to the right, but that's just more than maybe inside 2 feet. He's going to walk up, tap this in. That's a birdie for Munoz. He'll head to the par 4 14th, and he's 7 under.
Yeah, that putt right there looked like he just didn't hit it as solidly as he wanted to, and he knew that it probably wasn't going to climb the hill. He was up and out of that very quickly.
Members of our broadcast team are proud to wear Airflux Polos by PGA Tour Apparel, an official licensee of the PGA Tour. Airflux Polos are designed to keep you cool and comfortable so you can play your best both on and off the golf course. PGA Tour Apparel is available at Macy's and Macy's.com.
You're listening to exclusive coverage of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood from Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. And as we do at the top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage, time now for a leaderboard update brought to you by MasterCard. Tap and go with your MasterCard, the simple, secure way to pay.
I mentioned Matthew Fitzpatrick had caught up to Sebastian Munoz. Now Munoz answers on the back 9. He gets one at the par 5 13th. So those 3 par 5s on the back. Munoz has birdied 2 of them to add to a birdie at 10. What a day. 7 under par with 2 bogeys for Sebastian Munoz, as he is now in the outright lead again by 1 over Matthew Fitzpatrick, who's -6. Tied for 3rd, Cameron Smith, Mackenzie Hughes, and Kevin Kisner now at 5 under and 2 back. And then tied for 6th, Patrick Cantlay, the former UCLA Bruin, not too far away in Westwood, went to school there in Cantlay. One of the many Californians playing this week and familiar with Sherwood Country Club. He's off to a good start. 4 under with Brian Harman, Brendan Todd, Lanto Griffin, Xander.
Collar of the rough, the thick rough there for Justin Rose, and that could be a delicate 4th shot coming back from about 20 feet.
Yeah, that really came out hot on him, chipping the other direction in the line. We're getting a look at it. It's kind of just outside that step cut before you get into the deep stuff, and there's plenty of grass behind the golf ball, and it looks really clean in front. So it's one of those that, for a player, and you get this type of rough, it's a shot you need to practice a lot because it usually comes out a lot hotter than you think it's going to. Let's get back out on the course to Fred Albers.
Well, the second hole's a par 5, 521 yards, 3 balls in the fairway for Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, and Xander Schauffele. Tiger Woods will be first to play in the 190 range for all 3. It's 2. All these players easily clearing the sand, an ideal approach.
Yeah, as that group, and especially Tiger, looks to get things going. And Matthew Wolff, who drove the green to make his eagle, starting things off well, getting one at a par 4. So we've had 2 eagles at the par 4s on the front 9, one at the first and one at 7 today, Kevin.
And Justin Rose is going to putt with a fairway metal from 18 feet from that rough that Dennis described, and rolls us out very nicely, but that's going to come up short did not come out enough for him, about 3 feet away below the hole for par. For Justin Rose, he will put a coin on that.
The par fives are fun out here because there's a lot of times, and we're saying it, do it exactly what Justin Rose did here, going for the green on the par 5 and 2 and chipping for birdie. It's amazing what happens around these greens and the places that players can hit it where it looks like, okay, I'm going to put it in a pretty good spot if I can't get for the green, but it's just so hard to get it up and down around the greens. Jack doesn't give you a whole lot of bailouts on these par fives. You got to hit a shot, or you be prepared to have a very difficult little opportunity to get that ball up and down unless you keep it short of the hole and in the fairway.
And some bad spots, some trouble lurks. That's why we've seen quite a few big numbers today. One was a triple at 3, the par 3. Jason Kokrak, who won last week, hit it in the water, but he's just started with 3 early birdies on the back 9. So Kokrak, despite a triple on his scorecard, he's 3 under, trying to follow up last week's win, his first on the PGA Tour, Kevin.
And it's great to see Jason get that win for all the work he's put in through the years on the PGA Tour. Hideki Matsuyama, 23 feet for eagle down the slope. Good stroke on this golf ball, slowing down, didn't stroke it enough. That comes up well short of the hole, about 4.5 feet short for Hideki Matsuyama. And that was for eagle. He still has a chance at birdie here at the second.
That was really surprising. I don't know if maybe that putt was influenced a little bit by Justin Rose's chip where it got past the hole and ran right off the green, but that was not a very good opportunity, and he actually saw a ball come from that direction when Justin was actually chipping from the right-hand side over there. And now John Rahm's got an opportunity here for his eagle. This one back down the hill, but I think this is a putt that he can be a little aggressive with. I don't think it's quite as fast as it might look like, Kevin.
Well, an indication from Matsuyama's putt that he will have to put a healthier stroke on this 12-footer. He's lined up about a hole out to the left. So lining up for left to right putt here for Rahm to reach 4 under. Good stroke on that one. Down the slope, turning right. Didn't turn right enough. Perhaps a little too much pace on that for John Rahm. A couple of feet past the hole. It will be a birdie for Rahm as it puts a coin down, but he's going to make that. Trust me. It'll be 3 under.
Yeah, he'll make that one. He just can't really stand properly to get at it, so he's just putting the coin down and let everybody else clean up. But he will tap in for his birdie and get to 3 under par there with a birdie at the second.
Yeah, and 3 under puts you right now inside the top 15. 7 under is the lead. Sebastian Munoz with the Torrid front 9 has kept it going on the back so far. He still has 5 to play, Kevin.
I would have thought Hideki Matsuyama would have been 4 feet past the hole, not 4 feet short of the cup where he's putting from for eagle for 23 feet. 4 feet left here for birdie. Just taps that straight through and straight to the hole. Down it goes for Hideki Matsuyama. So it is a birdie, and Matsuyama reaches 3 under par.
I will repeat what I said earlier about Hideki. He looks really comfortable with the putter right now over the golf ball. Everything seems to marry up. When you've got a player that has a tendency to have a pause in his golf swing, sometimes the putter, it doesn't work so well with that pause. And you look at players and the way they play, whether they've got a quick motion or not, usually it matches up. Like great putters can be someone that's really slow like David Toms, a little longer and slower. But then you got guys that can be quick and fast like, there's plenty of guys. But you know what I'm talking about. He just never looks comfortable.
Quick and fast, Justin Rose, 3 feet in for par. He remains 4 under.
And Tiger Woods, who's struggling and needs some birdies coming in on the front 9 today. The defending champ will play in 60 seconds.
The PGA Tour champions are at it again.
A good play. Didn't catch that clean short and play it out to the right-hand side. I believe he found the bunker. Now, it does have green to work with, but that's going to be like 40-yard bunker shot or so upcoming for his 3rd shot at the par 5 second. Tiger Woods stands at 3 over.
Yeah, that was really wide of the target right there. But it's a miss. You can't miss it that far left or you're going to be in a penalty area. So not a bad play in that sense, but not a great swing for Tiger.
Yeah, and Tiger at 3 over, tied for 72nd, and just struggling, has not been sharp, Fred.
Now Xander Schauffele playing his 2nd into our par 5 second hole in the 190 range. He's been by far the most consistent player in this group, coming off birdie at the first, stands at 4 under. Has such easy power and beautiful balance in that swing. Has this right on line. That's a good one. That's a keeper, my friend. 15 feet, maybe less than that for eagle, upcoming for Xander Schauffele.
This is a work of art that he's putting together. Every fairway, every green, and a couple eagle putts too to add to it. So it's been really flawless for him. Look, really picking up right where he left off this last week, finishing runner-up there last week at the CJ Cup.
And now Matthew Wolff already coming off an eagle, playing a second into a par 5, Fred.
And he attacks this flagstick. This is right on it as well. Oh, just barely clears the hazard and then backs up. That's a red line penalty area on the left-hand side. Ball cleared that and then bounced back down toward the water.
Have to look and see if that stayed up. It looks like it probably did. There's a lot of heavy grass right there, but it's a pretty steep slope just outside the fair or the green line there. Only a few yards to play with. We'll have to investigate, see if that's okay. And he had a short iron in his hand there too.
Yeah, you're thinking he's going to be on the attack. He was, but may have some trouble now after that eagle too. He made a bogey in one of those par 5s starting off in the back 9 today, the 13th. Birdied 11 and 16. I mean, this is going to be the formula this week with 5 par 5s and these great players, this great field, imminently gettable, certainly this golf course. And to do that, you've got to take advantage and take care of the par 5s, Kevin.
John Rahm did that just a hole ago, the par 5 second. Made birdie. He is 3 under par. Now on the tee box at the par 3 third hole. There's a lake down the right side. There's a bunker to the right, and that's where Hideki Matsuyama played just a moment ago. And Rahm heading towards that bunker, trying to turn it over. He does, and that turns over below the hole and now skips past it and towards the backside of the green for John Rahm in the 20-foot range, looking for back-to-back birdies.
That was a really good play. This third hole, the hardest hole on the property right now, playing at 3.20, 10 over par in the round, just 4 birdies, 11 bogeys, and that dreaded other that happened earlier today here at the par 3 third.
You have to carry it down that right side of water and turn it over right to left. And Justin Rose, from this distance, the last hole pushed it way right, and it was long here. So let's see if he can correct that. And you think back to the 18th hole when he pushed it right and short, trying to avoid that here. And this ball does look pretty good for Justin Rose from 204, and that is going to land on the left side of the green, and that's just going to go on to what is a closely mown area to the left of the hole and outside of 20 feet, but well away from that water on the right.
It's not a bad play. Played it, as you mentioned, played it away from the water, and that water did come into play. Made a triple. That was Jason Kokrak, but hasn't deterred him too much. He's 3 under par with a triple on his card. There's a whole lot of good on his scorecard after that triple bogey that Jason made back at number 3 earlier today.
Yeah, the bounce back chances certainly are there, and Tiger Woods needs to bounce back. He's really needed to from the start today, Fred.
Yeah, Tiger Woods has just a perfect lie in the bunker, sitting cleanly, a little bit of an uphill line with a lot of green to work with. Got to get this inside of 5 feet. Decides to play the chunk and run. I thought he would play that higher in the air. On the green, not going to chase up. That's going to be just outside of 5 feet for Tiger Woods. A birdie putt up coming for the Tiger. He stands at 3 over, playing his inward 9 at the par 5 second. Matthew Wolff, by the way, did clear that red line penalty area, work back into the rough, but the lie is fine. He even has a chance to chip this in for eagle.
Yeah, just off the back of the green. And I like the shot that Tiger played there for the simple fact that it was going away from him, and it's so hard to really judge how the ball is going to spin when you hit it on that downslope, Freddie, and it just starts skidding. It can get away from you. This one, if the lie's clean enough, this is makeable, Freddie, for sure.
Matthew Wolff, 183rd in strokes gained around the green. Comes cleanly out of that rough, didn't hit it hard enough, didn't catch that clean. Going to have outside of 5 feet for the birdie putt up coming from Matthew Wolff. Coming off that eagle at the first, he's 1 under for the week. Next up, Xander Schauffele with an eagle putt, trying to get it to 6 under par.
Yeah, that shot that Matthew hit, it looked like it just was really sticky. Came out of there and just kind of came out dead and flat. Thought it might chase a little bit more, didn't. But he is going to be putting back up the hill. And Xander will be going down the hill. It's from a pretty similar area that Shigeki was putting from, or Hideki, excuse me. And he left it way short. He was a little farther away than that, Earl, but this is a putt that he didn't figure out at all. Maybe it had a lot to do with Justin Rose's chip shot that just flew right off the green going to the other side. He was a little nervous.
Just steady, solid, and consistent. We saw a lot of it last week as he was a runner-up at the CJ Cup. Has hit every fairway, every green, and trying to make something happen at a par 5, which you have to do. He birdied 2 of the 3, starting on the back 9, and this one coming up for Xander Fred for Eagle.
Just a beautifully played hole in the midst of a beautifully played round of golf. 11 feet, slightly downhill. I have this moving slightly from right to left. This is a putt that should have no problem getting to the hole. Just gotta pick your line and marry the speed. Xander Schauffele hit the par 5 second in 2. And now for the eagle conversion. Xander with the left hand low keeps that head so very, very still. He's motionless on the green. Now slowly back, pulls the putter. Impact rolling up to the hole, trickling. He left it short. He left it short. I thought there's no way you could leave that short. What a tap-in birdie. Another 2-putt birdie for Xander Schauffele. He is 5 under par.
Something about that area right there in the green where it is fast, but it's just not as fast as the players are seeing it to be. It's really an interesting place to putt from. We've seen it a couple of times today, and it is pretty amazing. But Xander, this is as simple as you can get. Every fairway, every green, and a couple of greens in under regulation to this point. Really solid.
Just steady, solid, consistent. I mean, that's what he is, and one of the best in the game, even though at times, because he's kind of that way personality-wise, too, he flies under the radar. There's no better way to put it, but you know what, Dennis? I think he kind of likes it that way. Fred?
Tiger Woods has struggled on the par 5s. He is 4 over par in 3 par 5s that he's played. Here's a chance to get a little revenge. Just inside of 10 feet uphill, he can be aggressive. It's even a right-hander putt that will move to the left-hand side. Back through, up to the hole, buried that in the middle. Tiger Woods birdies the par 5 second hole. He's back to 2 over.
All right, start, baby strokes. Make a good swing on number 3. It's the hardest hole on the golf course right now. Don't make a mess of the par 3, and then maybe you can run a few together, because anything worse than 2 under par, I don't think you're going to be very happy with your round of golf today, as benign as the conditions are. Just enough breeze to kind of hold your attention, Earl.
And scoring, excellent as you would expect, 69.8, so we're more than 2 shots under par. We're about 2.5 shots under par for a short time today, but the one thing is so much trouble lurking with mistakes. We have seen a lot of double and triple squares today as well, Fred.
And now, Earl, Matthew Wolff for birdie at the par 5 second. Back through that, rolls in as well. Birdie, birdie, birdie. Tiger Woods, Matthew Wolff, and Xander Schauffele complete the trifecta, each with a circle on the card.
And I was, if you were going to have a hole, I think, on the property, if you wanted to convert one of the par 5s, the second hole is kind of one of them. But there's so much water up close to the green. If it plays more back into the breeze, it could be a very difficult hole. But it's the one gimme, if you put it in the fairway, that you've got a great opportunity to pick at least one up and maybe 2. All the rest of them are pretty legitimate par 5s, where you play from and what the look is that you have, not only off the tee but also into the green.
We'll head over to Bill Rosinski.
Troubles here at 14 for Sebastian Munoz, who came to this hole 7 under par, drove his tee shot way right. In fact, had to hit a provisional, thinking he may have lost it, and he didn't. Chipped down into the rough and then had a bad lie in the rough, and now he's got his 4th shot from 151 yards away, middle of the fairway. Hole is located back left. And that's come up short. That's between bunkers. There are 3 bunkers that guard the left side of this green. He is between the 1st and 2nd. And this rough is thick and juicy by this green. So already laying 4. And he'll have to make an up and down for double bogey. Came here -7.
Wow. Just a complete mess. Wayward tee-ball up in the thick stuff. And as Bill mentioned there, when you hit it up in the native area, it depends upon if the sprinklers get a piece of it. If the sprinklers get it, it could be as much as 16, 18 inches deep. If the sprinklers don't get it, it could be dirt. So you get a little bit of everything when you get outside the irrigated area of the property. And he got in some of that thick stuff, and it was just really tough to play.
Justin Rose and his group have just completed play at the par 3 third. Rose tapped in for his par, so he's able to A make par from 30 feet off the left of the green. John Rahm just missed to the right on his 19.5-foot birdie putt, tapped in for his par, so he remains 3 under. Hideki Matsuyama not so fortunate. Now he hit a nice bunker shot from 52 feet, left it 6 feet below the hole, and just missed it on the right edge. So a bogey for Hideki. He's down to 2 under par.
And that will clear the green for our other feature group on a Thursday to play in 60 seconds.
Plays into our par 3 second hole, 204 yards, turned it 1 over, eagle the first, birdie the second, now puts that up nice and tight at our par 3 third from 204. That looks to be 10 feet. That's less than 10 feet up, coming from Matthew Wolff to take it to 3 under par.
That was right at it all the way. That never left the flagstick. A beautiful shot there for Matthew Wolff. It's not a kick in, but I'm going to give it a pretty good shot that he's going to make another one right here.
Well, this is what we were talking about with Tiger, who was over par. Matthew Wolff alongside was at 1 over at the turn. He's gone eagle birdie to start the back 9 and likely another kick in there for another birdie, Fred.
Xander Schauffele has done nothing but put birdies on the card. He has 5 of them, stands at 5 under par, coming off birdies at 1 and 2. Now on the tee at our par 3 third hole. 204 is the number, watered down the entire right-hand side to a green that sits diagonally and runs from right to left. Bunker on the right-hand side as well. Ball in the air. This ball comes in. That misses the green. Don't see that one. Oh, there it is. Left it in that green side bunker on the right-hand side. That barely cleared the red line penalty area for Xander Schauffele. Have to scramble for the first time today.
Wow, that barely cleared the hazard. That wasn't even close. That whole location, not nearly that close to the water. That was disappointing. It is over there on that right-hand side a little bit, but that was not a shot that we've seen from him at all today.
Well, Tiger Woods has 1 birdie on the front and now coming off 1 on the back. So he's finally gotten himself on the board, made that nearly 90-footer at the 14th. That birdie at the par 5 certainly did there what he needs to do. Now let's see if he can string some together coming in, Fred.
Earl, Tiger Woods plays into our par 3 third hole, 204. Xander in the bunker, tight to the flagstick is Matthew Wolff. That's into the fat of the green. He's going to be on the wrong side of a ridge, maybe 20 feet away, upcoming for Tiger Woods.
Good solid golf swing, though. Looked like he tried to finesse it a little bit and kind of bleed it into the hole from the middle of the green. It didn't cut much, but a good solid strike and a lot of good golf swings from Tiger. Even the ones that have been offline haven't looked like they were really out of sequence or the club was in a bad spot. Just club face has been open. He's missed a lot of shots to the right.
Yeah, the score does not sync up with the eye test for what we're looking at with Tiger today. Bill, over to you.
Well, here at the 14th, the par 4, Sebastian Munoz has played his 4th shot above the hole. He's got 5 feet here. That's for a 6. Sends it to the cup, and that's dead center. So missed the fairway way right. Took him a long time to get it on the green. 5 shots in all. Makes the putt for double bogey. And came here -7, leaves -5.
Well, the golf course looks a little different than the one last week, but we're seeing a lot of the same thing, or we're seeing a lot of birdies and the same guys making bogeys and doubles just from out of nowhere. It's a very interesting dynamic on this property to see this many doubles from guys playing well with a scoring average 2.5 shots almost under par.
Well, we've had a double, and it came from the leader, Sebastian Munoz, who drops 2 at the par 4 14, so he falls out of a share, and there's a 3-way tie for the lead. Lonto Griffin, Kevin Kisner, Matthew Fitzpatrick now tied at 6 under par as we continue PGA Tour radio coverage from California this week. Thousand Oaks and round 1 of the Zozo Championship at Sherwood.
The top and bottom of every hour in our live play-by-play coverage. Time now for a leaderboard update from Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California.
It's been a crazy day. A lot of changes on a leaderboard for an opening round. We've had it again with that Sebastian Munoz mistake I mentioned at 14. It leaves the door open for now 4 golfers to share the lead at 6 under par. Brian Harman has joined Lonto Griffin, Kevin Kisner, and Matthew Fitzpatrick in a 4-way share at 6 under par. Munoz drops out of the lead to 1 shot back. He's tied for 5th with Mackenzie Hughes and Cameron Smith at 5 under, and then -4 Justin Rose, who had the lead at one point in his opening 9 today, he's 2 behind with Xander Schauffele, Andrew Landry, Alex Noren, Tyrrell Hatton, Harris English, and Satoshi Kodaira all stacked up at -4, which is 2 shots off a 4-way tie for the lead, Fred.
Matthew Wolff has started his inward 9 with an eagle at the first, a birdie at the second. Now a 5-footer for birdie at our par 3 third hole. Matthew Wolff to go to 3 under, strokes that baby into the cup. Rolled it right into the middle. Matthew Wolff on a little bit of a heater. Little gallery out here. He gives them their applause. Matthew Wolff with the birdie at the third, a 2 on the card. He's 3 under.
And Freddie, some of the other players that are out on the golf course, how about last week's winner, Jason Kokrak, 3 under par in his round with a triple bogey today. He's picked up 3 more birdies on the back 9, birdieing a couple of par 5s in the 10th. He's 3 under through 14. Tony Finau, 3 under through 13. John Rahm also 3 under, along with Matthew Wolff. Played some really solid golf. Colin Morikawa, he's 3 under through 9. Webb Simpson, 3 under through 9. They are stacking up at 3 under par. And some of the players that are struggling out on the golf course, Tiger Woods, couple over par through 12 holes. He's headed to the 3rd. And Phil Mickelson, 4 over through 8.
The LPGA continues its 70th anniversary celebration at Great Waters Course in Greensboro, Georgia. That's roughly halfway between Atlanta and Augusta. It's the inaugural LPGA Drive-On Championship from Reynolds Lake, Oconee. In the first round, Ari Jatanagarn with the lead at 6 under par. That's 1 shot better than 3 players, Allie McDonald, Jennifer Song, and Danielle Kang.
And a 4-way tie at Sherwood Country Club with 4 golfers at 6 under par on a Thursday. PGA Tour radio coverage from Thousand Oaks, California continues in a moment. Round 1 of the Zozo Championship.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. We have been blessed with 6 children.
A lot of the mistakes being made, a lot of them are happening because of the tee ball. The golf course is wide, fairways, but there's not a lot of room outside the fairway lines. There isn't 25 and 30 yards of rough. There's a lot less rough outside the fairways on this property, and you get into that native area, and you can get anything. I mean, there's some native area that's 3 feet deep, and you're never going to find the golf ball, depending upon how much moisture it finds. Other places are dried out and burnt out. It's such a good test of golf. It really is, and it's fun to play. It's not hard, but it keeps your attention all day long. You can't just hit it anywhere and shoot a score on this property.
And right now, just 12 players in this elite field, 78 golfers. We had one withdraw today, Gary Woodland, who withdrew on his opening 9 today with a back injury. And leaves only 77, so just 12 players are over par. And 2 of them have been over par from the start, really. Tiger Woods at 2 over now, which is better than he was. And Phil Mickelson just having a horrendous front 9 at 4 over for him. A couple of bogeys and a double. He's yet to make a birdie.
Yeah, it's really been a struggle for Phil. And I really thought that he'd play well here, coming off the 2 Champions Tour wins. And, it's a golf course that's similar. It's not super long. It's in that 7,000-yard range. It's got a lot of risk-reward. It's one of those where it's a little tighter corridors maybe, but it's definitely a golf course that fit, I thought, what Phil was really, really enjoying playing out on the Champs Tour.
Let's go to 4, Fred.
Moments ago, Justin Rose made his birdie. He's back to 5 under. Now Tiger Woods plays into this hole. That's into the fat of the green, and then slips away over the green.
That was right on line. It just went past the hole. He's grabbed his putter. He may putt it. It went far enough off the green where he may also want to chip it, but that was a good-looking swing. Just a little bit too much wrench there for Tiger, and just put it just over the back of the green, but it is in a closely mown area.
Yeah, and Tiger still with an opportunity just over the back edge there to maybe get one. He's had only 2 birdies today, and it's the par 5s is where he's made the mistake. And that's the trouble for him on his opening 9, the back 9. He made 2 bogeys and a double on the par 5s. Part of it was not hitting a lot of fairways, and he's kind of been in fight-back mode since the start today. The defending champion, who, again, if he should win this week and successfully defend the title, that is potentially the next one. If it's this week or not, it's going to be the record breaker, number 83 for the great Tiger Woods, Fred.
Xander Schauffele followed up a bad hole with a bad drive. Bogeyed the third, hit his drive into the water at our par 4 fourth. So he's in one, drops two, now playing his third from the third tee. Center hole location in the very back of the putting surface. Once again, this is